Well, hey folks, we're going to do some Eberron artwork tonight. So we've been creating an adventure here called Crystals of Mavar, and we've been hammering out maps for like the past 100 episodes. So I want to switch over to doing some character and creature sketches for a bit, just to keep things loose and free. So give me a hot second here to check my signal, get through my official intro, and then we'll get to work here for a little bit. So hold on real quick. Merp. I'll check my signal here real quick. Yep, sounds pretty good. Let's see here. Okay, so my quick little bio intro thing here. Hey, my name is Theurgy. I create role-playing game supplements that I publish online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past few years, so you can see a collection of the work that I publish on the DMsGuild in the description down below. Right now, we're working specifically on an adventure for Eberron, which is a setting owned by Wizards of the Coast. So it's a 7th, 8th level adventure. What else am I supposed to say here? Check out my work. There's about 150 different illustrations that I've put into it so far of the works that are down below. So it's going to give you a good idea of the kind of work that I produce, as well as if you've been here for the past 140 some odd episodes, you've seen me doing work, so you kind of have an idea of the quality of product that we're looking to put out here. All the stuff that I always produce is extensive previews, so you have a really great idea of what it is that you're getting when you make a purchase. If you're interested in this, check out the books. I'd love to have your support. If oh, that's what's happening there. I've got a weird hiccup thing happening here, and that's because like that. And you can follow me on Twitter at Theurgy. I have a Patreon that I occasionally post stuff. We'll be putting up some Bob Ross brushes here pretty soon for digital painting. You can check out Patreon at Theurgy as well. I apparently stumbled here real quick, so I have a mild delay. So be welcome to talk amongst yourselves while we try to fix our shit. Hold on, we're working on it. Stream, sketching. Ugh, I flubbed up something. There we go. Now we're getting it fixed. So, let's see. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Not like you have any real reason to, because I'm not doing anything, because I'm messing around with my intro stuff. But we'll be done here in a hot second, and then we'll start getting to work. So actually, I can probably drop the cover here. And here's some of the character sketches that we've been working on so far. I want to distract your attention with that for a moment while I complete re-clicking all my buttons here, because I screwed up my link. So all the links that people could be checking out are broken. So that's not cool. Almost there, stay on target. But yeah, we sketched out we sketched out these things back probably like around episode 50, and I just wanted to put in a little bit more work on them today. It's something light and easy to do. Let's see. Yeah, that turned out okay. That's okay. Here, let me fix my screen here real quick. Like, subscribe, bell icon, support the channel. Sorry for the delay, folks. I'm a little discombobulated today. I've got a timer going, so make sure we don't get caught in any little, any tangent and eddies. But let's see. We're going to take this guy here and this guy here and then here. Okay, so there's 6 hooks in this adventure. The first comes from Ader Academy, which is a necromancy facility, or it's like a war college that specializes in necrotic magic. Actually, nope. The first one is Ader Academy, which is where the artifact the Eye of Mabar is supposed to be held for Aether Academy. So it's supposed to be researched there, and there's an artifact. It got stolen. They know where it is. So if you have this plot hook, they're going to plane shift you to the adventure, anywhere from Act 1 to 3, depending on how much time the DM wants to spend on it. If it's a one-shot, Act 1. If it's an extended campaign, if it's a one-shot, Act 3. If it's an extended campaign, Act 1. So you can go through Act 1, 2, and 3. So it can be as specific in its plane shift as the DM decides. The second hook here is for the 12, which is a secretive arcane organization bent on ruling the world, kind of like the World Economic Forum, but of magic. Third down here, the third hook is the Church of the Silver Flame, which has seers or diviners that sense collections of evil that they can send crusaders and holy warriors and paladins to eliminate or convert if possible. Fourth hook is the Gatekeepers, which is an orc shamanistic organization of druids that are charged with saving the world from extraplanar threats, which a permanent portal to the plane of Mabar would definitely qualify for. So they want to send you through up there. Okay, so these guys can plane shift. These guys can teleport. These guys can also plane shift. The church can plane shift. The druids can do a tree stride ritual, sending you across the world, which they use to get you landed somewhere either in Act 2 or 3. This is the sheriff that can deputize your characters. If you take plot hook number 5, where you're a part of Karnath society and you are looking to have a campaign that's grounded in Karnath and looking to improve life of Karnathi citizens after the last wars ended. And then the last hook is your family. Either cousins, uncle, aunts, sister, brother perhaps, went and settled down in this community of displaced workers now that the war is over and all the veterans are leaving the military for ranches and farm life. There's that they are led and invite you to join them at this Act 1 town that we were illustrating last week. So we're gonna pick and choose at these guys a bit. Pick and choose, I say. I'm just gonna build out stuff. So I'm going to duplicate this layer and come over here, so I can pick at this a little bit, just to have some fun. Just doing some sketchy sketch. Hopefully nothing too serious today. I'm going to drop the opacity on that. I love this song. So I'm here 6 days a week, Monday through Friday. In the mornings right now, we do Spelljammer artwork. If you're familiar with Dungeons & Dragons or the history of role-playing games, perhaps you've heard the name of Spelljammer. It is basically space pirates, adventures in space. It's super fun. We've built a supplement to help provide answers and ideas for DMs that have to contend with ideas about physics that aren't covered by Wizards of the Coast's supplement that they provided for us last year. Things like, if my ship catches fire, how long does it take for the air to turn from clean to deadly? Stuff like that. Or like, how far away am I able to see somebody that's drifting through space? How far away do I have to be to see him with the naked eye? Or how far away could she be for me to detect with an orrery? Or what is a magical radar exactly? And how do orreries work in that context? Stuff like that, so that you have a lot of additional content just basic physics for DMs to be able to provide more rulings, just to provide some basic rules for how these things work so that the DM then has an educated guess when they have to make their own ruling about a circumstance that arises in their game that is impossible to foresee. Like, what if I want to plane shift my entire spaceship from the the Forgotten Realms realm space to escape into the astral sea without having to take a month of travel time to get from the home world to the edge of the system? Well, we have answers for how much do you have to upcast your spell with which equipment to be able to plane shift an entire spaceship, which becomes a really fun thing to do when you want to get someplace fast on board of your boat in the future. Low levels, you got to kind of hex crawl it on out. But as you gain levels and you gain mobility, then you also gain spell mobility. So that's what we do on, that's the kind of stuff that we do on Monday through Friday morning. We create the artwork for that book. Obviously in the evening here on Mondays and Thursdays, we are creating art assets and maps for the Eberron adventure that we have been picking away at for the past year. And on Tuesday, tomorrow, at lunchtime, we have a design stream where we create, right now we're working on Martial Powers, which is an alternate magic system for martials and non-full casters to have instant effects, kind of like things to boost your movement or to give you proficiency in a skill for as long as you maintain concentration on it, stuff like that. Hey, Nitro! This is Lewis Dunk. I think we may have changed his name, but for now it's Lewis Dunk, who is a professor responsible for translating the ritual to activate the Eye of Mabar, and the last person to have seen the Eye of Mabar artifact in the archives of Aether Academy before he reported that it was stolen. So that the plot hook for Aether Academy is this artifact is stolen and you need to get it back. And the Lewis Dunk here is the contact, the professor that hires you, either, well, probably very, very quietly because his security credentials could get washed if it's if he becomes unreliable as a secure asset to explore these necromantic energy artifacts and magic items that are held at Aether Academy, much like the archives of Indiana Jones holding the Holy Grail. There are weapons of necrotic destruction that are out there that are sometimes classified as too dangerous to be explored, and so you have to get special grants to gain access to the right to be able to research these items. And as soon as Dunk starts exploring these things, bam, it gets stolen. And a crew of necromancers kidnap a number of interns or students that were at Aether Academy that are now, I guess, interning for the necromancers that are attempting to perform this ritual to permanize the manifest zone to Mabar. Sorry, words are escaping me right now a little bit. I don't know what's fashionable in Eberron in general. I just maybe there's research out there of what professors at Aether Academy are dressed like, but in my mind, it's very 1920s style, Darwin type professors, and so that's how I've chosen to pick this guy. It might be right or wrong. I don't particularly care. I just think it's a great illustration. So, This is what we're going with. We'll have the color version here as well as, sorry, we have the black and white version as well as a colorized. So once I'm happy with all these sketches, we can color them like we do with our Spelljammer art on Tuesday in the weekday mornings. Fashionable. Those glasses with the googly eyes and springs. As a Professor Dunk about him. I know, right? We're typecasting. We're leaning into stereotypes. They're not stereotypes, they're archetypes. Big ol' fluffage going on down here. Yes, I very much want his hair connecting to his beard, so he's just got this mane of unkempt fuzz all about him. I think it has that low-key mad scientist vibe to it that you would expect from somebody that wants to get intimate with an artifact of pure evil. Blah. The next map, I think I need to... Well, we still have to bloody up the village. So there's bloodying the village, and then we have to make a farmhouse. That's just like a generic location that the players can take over or explore if they want to, check in some of the homesteads in the village that have already fled and vacated. But hey, text. What are the school colors of Ader Academy? It might be a good topic to consider before coloring this close. That is a very good question. I have no freaking clue. But that is a great question. If there's an answer, I am down with following that lead. I shan't get to colorization tonight, though. I'm just gonna work down the line to all these other characters out here. These the characters that are your connections to the 6 plot hooks. So we're just taking these rough sketches. This guy's gnarly as fuck. We're taking these. I mean, these are still very very rough sketches. The first, it looks great. The closer in you get to it, the more you realize it's just a squiggly mess. I love that. Honestly, I love that about my art. But I always end up trying to make them clean. Someday, maybe I'll just be happy with ramshackle sketches like that. I don't know what product that would be that I would do that with. But yeah. The moral of the story here is that I need to do all of these guys. Yes, morals. Don't actually want to have lines like that. But I do want to have it just trail off. I mean, these are true busts where it's like shoulders up. I like this elephant vibe what we got going on down here. That's weird. I'm gonna just make a tie out of that. Secret Luxodon. What? Came up when was it came up when I was running it, and my answer was basically, I'm not completely sure what the school colors are, but I can tell you black is one of them. I always feel like Iter Academy is black and green, but that's from a Magic the Gathering perspective. I just get a real Golgari vibe off of Karnathi in general. I think some people lean towards white and black when thinking about them, but they they treat death as like just it's like being dead is a civic duty, and it's practical for. I mean, it's a societal magic, so I can see the white bend, but the way that they approach it is it's natural for you to die, and it's thus natural for your nation to make use of you as a resource, and that just feels very like making a resource out of dead people feels like a very black-green in sort of intent. So anyway, that's where that came from, because I'm always thinking of color magic. I'm always thinking in color, ironically. I'm really looking forward to seeing what 6th edition looks like, because assuming that the DMsGuild stays open, I get to update all the color mana work that I had produced for 5th edition, so that it's good to go to be used with character classes in 6th edition. They say that it's backwards compatible, and you can use my system in literally any game that you want. That's basically a D20 with spellcasting per level. It works in Pathfinder. It works in BECME. It works in first and second edition Pathfinder. It works in third, fourth, and not fourth. It works third, 5th edition, as well as second, third, and 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. You could use it in Mutants and Masterminds if you wanted to. If you wanted to provide a mana point system for using superpowers. But generally, Pathfinder and various editions of Dungeons and Dragons is what the color mana system is intended for use with. But I'm looking forward to updating it for 6th edition. I think there's going to be neat character options that are introduced, and I'm going to have a lot of fun streaming how to rebuild all the class perks that we have for color mana into the 6th edition system, as well as integrating both Theros and Strixhaven into the core mechanics that we have published for the color mana spell point variant rules, which are, of course, linked down in the description down below if you want to look at my color mana work, if you aren't already familiar with it as a fan of the stream. So big shout out to everyone that's been giving me love. We're less than we're 45 sales away from reaching gold status on like 2 or 3 of my books in that bundle. So I'm really proud of that. There's a decent shot that the product will go gold before 6th edition gets released next year, which will be a huge feather in my cap, because I think having a gold title that we then immediately update to 6th edition is just going to be crowd friendly and good for sales in general, and a great reason for me to throw bragging rights about it. Plus the expansion will probably add about 4 or 5, maybe 7 pages to the product overall, and it'll give us a chance to revisit some of the artwork that we had done for it. Some of it feels sketchier than I want for my work these days. So get a chance to go back and rebuild the book, change some of the aesthetics, the dressing, since my skill as a layout artist has improved over the past few years since we first published the book. So I'm really excited about that. I'm anticipating that. We don't know exactly when Player's Handbook's going to get released, but I would guess around September next year, so like a year from now, is probably when 6E is going to drop on the shelves, and we'll then be able to start the process of peeling open the book and rebuilding it, like I was just talking about. But that'll be like my Tuesday stream for however long it takes, or it might be my Monday, Thursday night stream. I'm not sure exactly when, but I also want to start doing some hex scroll playtesting using the martial power system that I've been developing. I think that would be just recruit some people in that are willing to play half and full casters and have them run around and kill random shit. And we'll just make an actual old school hex crawl out of it where, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen in each hex. It's just you've got like 4 or 5 of them to pick one over here. So pick one and we'll go in that direction. We'll see what you run into, and then like 5th, 6th level characters create solutions. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And so that would end up being either like on a Monday, Tuesday, or no, it'd be either a Monday, Thursday night or Saturday morning. One of the nights that I typically stream. I stream every chance I have for a block of time. So ideally, I think it would be Thursday. But I got to see who's willing to volunteer and how much time they can allocate towards it. So I love streaming on Thursday, so I kind of lament that. But yeah, it is what it's got to be. Yeah? What's up over here? Any scars from experimenting? Nah, I don't think so. The next dude's going to be super scarred up, so I don't want to overdose on the body horror right up front. Though I could definitely singe some of his hair. I got no problem with that. Keep that simple. Stupid. That in there. Get that in there. Something like that, perhaps. Oh, I went quiet, didn't I? Hey, Dragon, what up, dude? I was just thinking about Singed Hair and Ace Spots. Hey, Dragon King. Right on. Yeah. Like ash smudges here and here. Like maybe a bit on his nose and like on his lapel. Stuff like that. We'll muck him up a little bit during the color sequencing. Dragon, what you got going on, my dude? I don't know what we're talking about tonight. Oh, I finished the Reclement book cover that Ukulele Bard had commissioned me to produce. I will post that either tonight or tomorrow for folks to take a look at on Twitter at Phil Kearney, which is down below linked. Or if folks know where I sharpen my knives on Discord, I'll be posting the results of that everywhere where I've been posting that I was working on it. So we'll just close that loop. And this upcoming Saturday, we're going to continue the Bob Ross effort, and we're going to just do a crash course on building brushes and some of the basic techniques of like building mountains, making trees, hills, grass, rocks. Basically take some of the different land and stuff that was in the Reclement book cover art that we produced. I'll go through like how do we make all of those, and maybe spend like just 2 hours of like doing landscape artwork crash courses. So that sounds like fun content I can produce. That's useful beyond the 5e space. But after I do that, I think the following weekend, that's going to be what, August. So that's going to be in August. So we'll do, Yeah, that'll be Saturday the 29th that we're going to do the Bob Ross special. No, we're on the 31st already. So that'll be Saturday the 5th that we'll do the Bob Ross special. And then starting on the 12th, I think I have another book cover. I think it's a horror adventure. It might be Call of Cthulhu. I'm not positive. But Andy Headley, who was the co-writer of this adventure, he does a lot of Call of Cthulhu stuff. And he wanted me to... I've already created one book cover for him before, which is how I connected with him in the first place. But he's asking for another commission for another book cover. And so that's what I'm doing with my Saturdays for the time being. I'm doing commission work, so... And we always have a little bit of variety, and we change things up, have a little bit more rotation, and it has just a little bit more universal appeal than just doing book covers and interior artwork for 5th edition stuff like horror and sci-fi. And it's variety. Variety is good. Let's be varietous. I spy with my eyes something beginning with text. What? Nothing much. Hey, updating the Gladiator homebrew. Right on. I made when I first got into designing. Currently trying to write a feature that's trying to write a feature that lets you bribe a creature with money. Right on. Gonna use the generic content to assume that you're making art for Mad Bad. Yeah. This is a professor at Aether Academy, which is the premier necromancy college of study in the world / Karnath. So yes, you inferred that correctly. There's an art to stabilize the manifest zone, which is at the center of this adventure. You have to once you find a manifest zone, you can permanentize it with this by using this artifact called the Eye of Mabar. And if you sustain the ritual long enough, you're able to permanently open and maintain the overlap of Eberron with the plane of Mabar. So you have easy access to necromantic resources. The soil of Mabar, the little crystal grit. You can ground that into a powder and use it for making ritual circles involving necromancy magic. You can also use it as spell components for any necromancy spell or darkness related spell that you know. So it acts as an arcane focus that disintegrates when you use it for the spell. But it's if you're into necromancy rituals, it's an incredible resource to have access to. And this guy, his plot hook is that you are hired by an evil wizard guild, secret society cabal called the 12, and it's like the world economic form of magic. They want to take over the world. They don't necessarily care who they hurt in the process of doing it. And necromancy is definitely on the table of possibilities for them achieving their goals. I'd say the Rakshasa are probably their biggest competitors as far as like global power is concerned. So stabilizing a manifest zone that naturally terraforms Eberron soil into Mabarite soil basically is a self-replicating gold mine for anybody that's interested in necromantic rituals. So there is a non-zero chance that there's actually people at Aether Academy interested in seeing this actually be achieved. Dunk would be one of them, of course, but it's also his career if something goes wrong. And he didn't authorize it. He just thinks it's a cool idea. And he's happy that somebody stole the artifact to do something with it, but it was on his watch, so he has to get it back. It's out of office without any collateral or consent. So he has to fix that stuff up before he gets in trouble. So he hires some mercs. He knows where it's at. So he hires some mercs, pops an expensive scroll to plane shift you to the location that he academically knows where it's at, so you can be as accurate or sloppy in your actual arrival distance as the DM deems appropriate for the type of tempo you want to set for the adventure. So if you just want a one shot, you put it in Act 3. If you want it as part of an ongoing campaign, then you could put them in Act 1 or 2. It's up to you. But Aether Academy can become a resource for your team. If you can accomplish this goal, there's literally no end of Indiana Jones type of heist or spelunking adventures, dungeon crawls, dungeon delves that you can go on with Aether Academy as your sponsor to locate different artifacts or whatever of importance. And if you stick with this and you run through this, then you pick up a couple of really powerful organizations as potential enemies that you could potentially run into multiple times if you all are find out you're in a race against these evil organizations in their effort to attain this information or artifacts that Aether Academy wants you to secure for the safety of the nation. You'll end up competing against these organizations multiple times, so you can build a campaign around that that conflict. And I'm just about done with this guy. For now, anyway. Yeah, that's much cleaner than it was. So that's a good place to stop. Lewis! Dunk! Yep, Rahid Malign. He is the... I'm going to duplicate. No, I'm just going to drop this. Rahid represents the 12. So if Aether Academy had their artifacts stolen to set up this manifest zone in a facility that's known to be the central nexus of a Mabar manifest zone, the 12 is actually funding the operation, and the necromancers that that got the 12 to sign on as patrons to this heist mission, this setting up this necromantic resource operation, betrayed the 12, of course, and cut off access. Their plan, the necromancers' thought is that if they get things up and running the way that they expect to, the 12 can't stop them, and then they can renegotiate their agreement with them and get more power out of it. So Rashid hires you to go kill them, or to capture them alive so that they can send in a wetwork team to torture and then kill them. And so your job with here is to reestablish the teleportation circle that they helped fund build down here. And after the teleportation circle got built, it quickly went offline, and the 12 is on the other side of the continent. It takes a while to send resources over this way to handle issues. So you get hired as basically as a black op team to go handle issues, and your objectives are to secure the artifact, eliminate anyone who gets in your way in the process. But if you can capture any of the necromancers alive, put them on ice so that when the auditor arrives, they can start auditing the people that are still alive, and you will hopefully be able to get out before you have to witness any of that stuff. So if you get the teleportation circle back up and running, you can use it as an exit point to get away from that. Unless your team is really wanting to be involved with this, or if the DM decides that the team is needed because the forces are overwhelming, then the Wetworks team could commission the characters on the spot to further assist in locking the place down. So this guy's going to be all scary and sinistery. Thank you, Timely Timer. I like this guy. He looks like, I love that eye. It's like no matter, like it just is because it's torn and broken. It just looks fucking angry, like a really angry eye, even though it's just like milked out. It's just mean. I love that. That's so just oh my god, my chair is all messed up. Hold on. I'm gonna fix my butt. Get on down. Out at you. There you go. Oh, yeah. That's just freaking sweet. And of course he just leaves it open just to really just disturb people while he's in conversation with them. Anything he can do to throw people off their game so he can get an edge over them, he's going to want to do. Plus, the 8 or the 12 can use it as a scrying eye. He can't see through it, but they can. So it just like the eye just blindly wiggles around and looks at things. It's not blind. It's a scrying eye, so the 12 can always see who he's talking to whenever they want. But it comes off as him not having any control over it, so, you know, it's obviously a blinded eye, but it's not. It's not. Give him some Mentat eyebrows for reals. I love Mentats. It's such those giant caterpillar eyebrows is just such a great way of implying intelligence and nefariousness. I'm going to grab that whole structure there and pull it in just a touch. This dude, I expect to see him somewhere in Argentina, maybe circa 1953. I always get this great vibe off of Eberron that you can have like Dick Tracy comic style character features on like dramatic over over what's the word I'm looking for? My brain is stupid tonight. Out of proportion. Cartoonish. And I think that little bit of, just like that little touch of cartoony really helps sell non-human creatures, because you can be unnatural with your angles and curvature of like skull and facial features. You can explore different styles of art with different creature appearances, and I think Eberron really leans into that approach. Like it embraces that idea. I get a feel that there's a lot more acceptance. Maybe it's just my Eberron, but a much larger acceptance of mixed breed creatures, and that the magic of the world tends to make them stronger instead of weaker for blending different heritages, origins. I don't know, whatever terms we're using these days. I kind of like the under sketch still poking through like that. I might consider preserving that lighter. It's just free texture, so maybe when I colorize, I'll just blend these marks into the color art, just to add more. Yeah, more texture to the piece. That's interesting. I wonder how often I could do that in a work. Like have my rough sketch, like have each layer of the rough sketch into final line art, into color. I wonder how much of that I could actually leave presented as part of that, like I said, texturing of a piece. That's interesting. Oh, no, yep, this does need to be back a little bit. Keep carving them up. Shove that horsehair down in there. This guy has kind of like a gnome vibe going to him. I do like that. Yeah, we're gonna leave that open. Just trying to find the right spot for that eye. Yeah, it feels pretty good. It feels better. I do like that. Comb over, a true sign of evil. No good person would be so dishonest as to choose a comb over. Dark work is afoot, my friends. Trust not the comb over man. He leaves hairs from a horsehair brush. Every crime scene as his calling card. Oh, my screen flashed. I'm going to hit save before something weird happens. know, man. I like the lines on my face. I don't have a problem with them. I like growing old. I mean, other than the lack of speed and endurance, it's I like the wisdom. I will, to an extent, be happy to replace physical stats with mental. I still need to be strong enough to adventure. Otherwise, what's the point of accumulating knowledge, right? It will be like that. Yeah. That's someone for breathing. Absolutely. I can imagine him with a tone of voice much like this. Can get irritating after a while, so let's keep the conversation short. I can imagine him having a really sharp-toothed smile. Yeah. And depleting returns. Let's go back to where we were. Get back, Loretta! Go home. If I take that cut all the way down. Oh God, yes. That is exactly what he needed. I was sitting 8:45. Cool. Like, there's absolutely no reason why this guy should have a comb over. I think he just does it to piss people off. I love this guy. God, what a freaking mess. That. I like typecasting. I like people looking exactly the way that you think they are supposed to be. Like, there's no world in which someone should be thinking, oh, this is the good guy in the story. No. But, you know, if you do the 12 a good job, then he's got a lot of different jobs for you to do. I'm not saying keys from the Golden Vault or nothing, but this guy can put you on some heists if that's the kind of game you want to run. Not bad. There we go. There we go. I love this guy. He's great. There. Yeah, I'm good with that. Rimhildra, Seer of the Silver Flame. Yes, she is of the Silver Flame. They are essentially a lawful good church that is heavily invested in destroying anything of evil supernatural origin. So naturally, they became immediately aware when a manifest zone was being created out of order. Narf. There we go. Did a little research on Silver Flame before doing the sketch, and this is pretty accurate attire. Headband like this, and like a little, like a thick scarf over the armor. Yeah, right on. What time is it? 9 o'clock? All right, this will be my last 20 minutes. I don't know what I'm thinking about. There we go. Nice. Yeah, like that. Not bad. I like this. Tumble that up a little bit so it matches. There we go. There we go. There we go. At some point I decided to stop talking. I almost feel bad about that, but I'm really into these. I'm really into this picture, so sorry for the radio silence. It's been kind of geeking out over making this chick cool. An almost Helen of Troy sort of vibe to it. I'm digging it. There we go. That's the angle right there. Yeah, I'm just going to heavy. Take that down to there. Yeah. Cloth folds. Tunic up over her shoulder. Or a cloak, I guess. It's more ornamental than anything, I suppose. It's not like when you're a priest of the Silver Flame, you're ever cold. I don't know what that is. Where's your anatomy at, Kearney? What are you doing right now? I think you're playing. I think you're playing out the clock. Is what I think you're doing. Got 5 minutes left. There's something. That is something. Oh, that's cool. That reminds me of that feels like Visionaries. I don't know if you ever saw that cartoon called Visionaries back in the 80s. Knights of the Magical Light. It was a cool show. It was one of those Sunday morning cartoons, kind of like Robotics and Gem. Go like that. Do like that. I'm going to thin that up just a touch more. Transform, squeeze it in just a bit. There we go. Nice. There, that's good enough for that. Fucking A, man. I'm really enjoying this. I hope somebody out there is getting something out of this, because I am just... This is really just touching grass for me, man. This is just getting really back into my roots of... Because I just used to use pencil sketches all the time. Just books of pencil sketches. And this is very reminiscent to that for me. So I've been having... just a wonderful night tonight. It's been very zen for me, very quiet in the mind. So I'm going to go ahead and cut stream for now. I'm going to be back in tomorrow in probably less than 9 hours. We're going to do some more Spelljammer ship art. I'm not sure what exactly we're going to do, but we're going to get into it. And when we come back next week, we're going to resolve the gatekeeper, the sheriff, and your family. So that's where we'll be at next week. I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning to do Spelljammer art. I'll be back on at lunchtime tomorrow in about 15 some odd hours from now. I'll be on doing I think fighter subclass conversions into the martial power system. Then we'll be back on Wednesday morning for more Spelljammer, Thursday morning for more Spelljammer, Thursday night for these three guys, and then Friday morning Spelljammer, and then Saturday morning we'll be doing brushwork creating brushes and basic brush technique for Bob Ross style in the digital medium. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I really had a blast. I hope you did too. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to help push the signal. Follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney, and I'll drop an image of Reclement. I'm going to pick at it just a little bit more, but it should be out there for you guys tomorrow morning at deadline. If you know where I lurk at online on the Discords, you can find me there. You'll see my work. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys here again tomorrow. Thanks a lot.